Hey, how are you doing?
Joey, how you doing, brother?
Doing all right. Glad to be doing this. I saw you like 2 years ago, back before the world stopped happening at Musso and Frank for the Tarantino thing, where like
Uh,
people just lined up to talk to him at the bar, and you guys kind of stood around being like, "It's cool, we're here."
that was so much fun. What a
It
fun
was.
night. That was a great night. Yeah, Travolta and Tarantino and just everybody. Yeah, it's
Yeah, that was like the reward for staying late enough. Like Travolta shows up, like, "Hey," and you feel really cool that like he's confident enough not to wear the hair. You're like, we all know, man. Just like be you. Like it's cool. We're all friends.
everybody just being who they are. I
Exactly.
think that's what Quentin brings out of people. So it was pretty fun.
Yeah, like also how much can you not in like he enjoys doing what he does more than anyone else in the world. So if
Sure.
you don't enjoy it, like why be there?
Yep,
Um,
exactly.
and you clearly enjoy work because you never stop. Like either that or you have expensive tastes because you are in like 7 movies a year consistently. Um, what do you, when you are looking at something, a lot of times the roles will be a little smaller than obviously this one. Like, what about them attracts you? Because especially like small roles, I imagine there's a lot of offers. Like, how do you narrow it down to I want to be in Nightmare Alley as opposed to the 6 other things that are shooting at that time?
Well, Nightmare Alley specifically was that role was written for me. He's not Funhouse Jack is not in the novel
Hmm.
nor the original feature with Tyrone. And I love working with Guillermo in any capacity,
Yeah.
uh, a cameo, whatever, any kind of role. If you needed help carrying gear, I'd be there.
Yeah.
Uh, just a chance to get some of that pixie dust from the master, you know, and mentorship is what I think we long for. And something with Tarantino, it's like that's something he also. I think that was a little hat tip to my grandpa because he's
Yeah.
a big grandpa fan. Um, so those roles, those are all fun experiences, and you just don't know with those filmmakers. They're so much of the movie is like immensely bigger in their own minds. So you really never really know where it's going to go. But that said, you're going to have an amazing experience and enjoy the process, and your own process will be redefined as a result. So those are the real joys. Tarantino talked to me about because there's all kinds of stuff we shot, which I know I've heard rumors of him cutting it together to make a giant long version of it. So who knows? But at the end of the day, just having those experiences are they just make you happy as an
Right.
artist.
Well, yeah. Like, what else can you do except try to be happy and get to do the thing you love? Like, why not
Hard,
do it more?
yeah,
Yeah.
hard not to be happy.
Exactly. And like, the thing that also is noteworthy is for someone who works pretty consistently and like I said, isn't always, the lead in a movie, the movies are still all good. Like that's a hard thing to pull off because, volume almost always leads to like, this one worked out or this one was this or I did a favor. But you almost always there's a reason that movie exists. And I think
Yes,
that's
sir.
it's taste, I think.
No, you're 100% right, and I work very hard to uh, when the movies, whether they find me or I find it, it has to speak to me in one way, shape, or form. And I want it to be a movie that I can call my friend, like, yo, this comes out.
Yeah.
I won't call my friends to watch a bad movie, like, and I've had, look, every now and then, sometimes you just need to work, and it's somebody's knocking at your door with some money to keep the
Yeah.
bills, electricity, and the water going, and you're like, well, I don't have nothing else on the table, so I got to pay the bills. So those are the ones I won't call my friends about. But most of the time, like you said, I'll tell them, I'll give them my green light and be like, yeah, this is a good one. This is
Yeah.
fun.
Because
It's
like
not maybe not my movie, but the story will touch you.
yeah, totally. Because like a bad review, like at a certain point you can deal with. Because like I've done it, and I know the good outweighs the bad. But a friend being like, "Bro, why?" That cuts way deeper.
Yeah, like I got friends like I'm gonna go support. I'm like, you don't need
Uh,
to. If you
yeah,
do that, I'm not asking you to support that one.
yeah. But like for this one, I'm sure how it comes along also feels in a way almost like rewards the wrong word, but it feels well earned to get a showcase like this, like with Jockey, to be able to have 90 minutes to be on the screen almost every scene and to get to just flex in a way that, you don't necessarily get to do if you're in two scenes or you're in 2 minutes of a movie.
That is fun. That's a lot of fun. Yeah, and there's a lot of flexing. It's but also in a film like that, when you don't have a lot of you don't have a big budget, all you have is the time that you're going to put in. So fortunate for all of us, Clint and Greg and myself, we've got a previous working relationship on Trans Pecos, so they knew I'd want to get there early to spend as much time with the jockeys. So we're shooting on a live track, and so you're constantly on set. So even when they yell cut, I'm still interacting with the jockeys. I'm still doing what I'd be doing if I wasn't filming. There's no big light package. There's the crew of 10. For all intents and purposes, it looks like a documentary crew, if they're even noticed at all. Yeah. And we tried to minimalize our footprint because there were real races going on the whole time. And I'm coming in, when you see those jockeys in front and behind me, they're coming off a real race, and I'm just jumping into the middle of.
Yeah. And I mean, yeah, because you're never going to be as good as them. You're never going to look as perfect as they're, but the more you can observe and the more you can sort of get by osmosis, the better you're going to be. Because, a skilled actor, pretending is what I do. I'll figure it out. But if the guy to the left of me and the guy to the right of me is doing it legit, and I can be around them long enough, like with anything else, you go on vacation for more than a week, you pick up the sound of where you are. Like, you're not trying. It's just, there's something about the environment that you can't simulate, I think, otherwise.
100%. And also, if you're kind of wired and geared that way, because by means profession, you seek out to delve as quickly as possible. It's like free diving. As soon as I get there, I'm like, boom. It's like I was always with the jockeys. I didn't talk to anybody in LA. I cut off my whole world. I had 2 mentors and a grandmother, my grandma that I spoke to, and that was the 3 people that I would talk to. And the mentors being that it was conducive and helpful with my relationship with Gabriel, played brilliantly by Moises Arias.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you want to be as honest as you can, but you also, you want to serve the story. Like, the director is still going to give you the directions, but you have the ability to go, okay, I want to learn how to do this as close as I can, and because it's a movie and not real life, this can be the only thing that I think about for however long before we start. This is a bonus, as opposed to in other environments.
I kind of think the other way. I need to be accepted by the jockeys first. There happens to be a camera around.
Yeah.
So I'm not thinking I'm an actor in a movie. I want to be a jockey. I want to hang out with you guys. Oh, well, they're going to take some pictures of us. There's going to be a live camera, but whatever. Hey, let's just do it. What do you need? You need some help? I see what you're doing. So I was with them all the time. So that was first and foremost. And then, obviously when the camera comes in, I've already got a very heavy, strong rapport with all the jockeys and the people that work within the room. So it allowed us to have an easier facility in regards to working with them in acting scenes. That wasn't so like, all right, here's your mark and here's the camera and here's what you're going to, don't look over it, with none of that. It was very effortless and organic and free flowing, and they were already comfortable with me, and I was already embraced by them, lovingly so. So that's the greatest gift is doing that, because I want to blend in. I don't want to be the actor guy. I want to be the jockey guy.
And I think the opposite would be true. Like, if they didn't feel comfortable, they would tense up when it comes time to, okay, well, you just have to walk across the screen. Well, how do I walk? It's easier to just be like, well, do your thing. We'll make art around you. Like, do life, because it's a different, they're your co-stars, but it's different than, like, I love Waves. Waves was one of my favorite movies that year, but you're with all of like the world's greatest actors. Like, everyone wants to do that. Here, you almost have to be like, don't pay attention. I got this. Everyone else, just scratch your ass if you have to. We're good.
For sure. And I think there was a certain comfortability that was acquired by just me just coexisting with the jockeys all the time. So when they're walking with me, they're just walking with me. We're not talking about movies. I don't want to talk about. If they wanted to talk about movies, I'd say, hey, let's talk about this and we'll get out the way. Or you can call me later and I'll tell you whatever you want to hear. I'm an open book for you because you've embraced me. And I let them know, hey, you guys have green light with me. When I'm on set though, and there's no trailers or none of that, no chairs, no special thing. We did our own hair and makeup. I carried gear. And so there was just a comfortability that was achieved that was very necessary for the style and the way that we were filming.
Oh yeah, and being like so involved in knowing Clinton, like having very much a front row seat to it all. At what point do you start to know, like, I think this is going well? And I know the answer, truthfully, is never. You guys never know. But at one point, is like there that little thing in the back of your, like, I think this is one of the good ones.
Every day there was something magical that happened, undeniably, every single day. And I just remember that fourth day going, wow, we've had 4 magical days on just seemingly impossible achievements. And so I had a moment where I was like looking up to the stars and going, thank you for gracing us with these 4 days, to the SAG gods, if you
Yeah.
will. If you could stay with us the rest of the 3 weeks when my other two actors, Molly and Moises, get here, that'd be awesome. And if not, thank you anyway. I've got the lessons that I needed from those 4 days, and I will attempt to bring my own magic, which I would do every day anyway. But luckily, we had something magical happen
Yeah.
every single day. So it's very special.
Yeah, and then you get, like anything else, you make it and go off into the world. And in your case, you make 19 other things. And like the movie gets cut and you go, oh, it's going to Sundance. Cool. Oh, wait, there's no Sundance. Okay, it's online. Like all that starts to get weird. But then you hear like, oh, it's really well received and gets purchased. And like throughout the year, it just stays on people's minds and goes to other festivals. Like, is that, obviously you don't do it for that, but is there something that just goes like, I'm glad it's connecting. Like the thing that I saw is what other people are seeing.
Without a doubt. And it's the fact that it's been able to touch so many hearts
Yeah.
is, I think, what's I think the biggest joy, because we put so much of our time and our pain, our sweat, our love, our passion. I had breakdowns probably every day by myself or away. So I think the greatest joy is when you get to touch a cinephile's hearts and affect people, and it opens it up for conversations about their own families or their own fathers, their own sons or daughters or what have you. And there's something really beautiful about having an exchange of real concrete human issues,
Right.
And I think that's the biggest joy.
Yeah, for sure. And then like it's not, doesn't hurt that the added bonus is the next person to want to work with you is probably watching going, oh shit, like, all right, let's bigger role this time. And that here's hoping that the work finds you more than you have to find it now, because hopefully more people will realize like, oh, we've been sleeping on him for like 20 years and why are we doing that?
That'd be sweet. But
Yeah.
I'd love to work with those that are truly artistic and collaborative. It's not every director is going to be like a Clint Bentley or a Greg Quidar.
Right. That's
and
the upside, I think, of now, the better this does and the more things hit, you get the ability to say no, which is, you don't think of it as like a positive because no one wants to say no in life, but there's something to like, okay, I have 3 things here. I can choose one of these. I don't have to make all 3, or I can say no to all 3 and see what the 4th thing is. Like, I'm not going to go hungry. And also I can just fulfill what I'm interested in as opposed to like, I got a hole in the schedule.
well, I do say no a bunch, which is why you've seen so many films that you happen to like that I'm in.
Yeah.
So you got to say no, and sometimes you got to hope that your unemployment's going to last. Like I don't want to tax my resume or tax my street cred
Yeah.
by doing some schlocky film. Obviously, I'll always do the best that I can possibly do, but you can't speak for the whole movie, So, but it's that I think I've selfishly, I don't know whether it's to a detriment or not, but I like having good films on my resume, no matter how big the role.
Totally. Like, you don't want, if you were a quarterback, you wouldn't want to have a 1-in-15 team. You want your team to be good. Like, who cares?
sure,
Stats
sure.
are great, but
Sure.
let's do it. Awesome. Well, I mean, thank you so much for doing this. I love the performance. And like I said, it's always great to see you in something. It's like, it's a nice, like, oh, this is going to be, there's something here.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you for that.
Oh, yeah, totally. My pleasure.